Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk, a discussion about all things automotive. I'm Cory.
And I'm Matt. And each week this podcast will serve as a catalyst for discussion on all sorts of topics that grind our gears, rev our engines, or just need a bit more conversation.
What kind of engine was that you were revving there?
Oh, spectacular V12.
So,
Magnificent.
It is a
V12.
momentous occasion here at GT Garage Talk because for the first time ever, we have a guest live in studio with us.
Yes.
In my home studio.
Yes.
So we've done, we've interviewed my wife, we've interviewed Spencer, and I think that's it in person. Someone's going to be mad at me if I forgot them. But we've not done a lot of...
Our dads.
Yes. Yeah, in the heat of your garage. So we've not done a lot of in-person interviews, but we have a very special guest this week. Mr. Brad Bowen.
Hello, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is a pleasure to have you.
Most definitely.
And that's not just because of what you drove over here and let us drive, but we will get more into that in a little bit. So first things first, a challenge was issued, and this is the answer to said challenge. So a few weeks ago, we had Mikey Brooding on our podcast talking about Adrenaline Rally and the Poker Run, and talking about all things Adrenaline Rally, supercars. And in that episode, he challenged Brad to come on the show.
I had a call out. I had to answer.
So here he is. We've been told just the tiniest bit of a lot of stories.
Yes.
That I don't even know where to begin with. So I'm just going to let you start, and we'll see where this conversation goes.
I don't know where to start. There's a lot of stories. I've been able to get in a lot of mischief on accident, on purpose sometimes. A lot of mishaps, a lot of bad luck. So there's a lot.
Just because we're talking about Mikey at this present moment, and he did send us a message about a certain instance in said Diablo that we just got out of where you brake checked him.
Yep. So I bought the car February of 2017. Unfortunately, I got to enjoy it for a few months before I had to go down for some maintenance. But I got Mikey into Longview with me, and we were just out cruising around. And there's a brand new stretch of outer loop that they built, brand new pavement. So we figured we'd go out and stretch our legs and maybe hit 140, 150 kilometers an hour. So
Yes.
whatever that converts to, like I think it's like 65 miles an hour.
Right.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And there's 6-piston Brembo brakes on the front end, so we just had to do a brake test. And I think both of us almost lost our lunch with the amount of force that we felt slamming on the brakes. And I haven't heard a guy grunt that hard in a very long time from the pain. And I want to say Mikey and I went out and had tacos a few hours ago for lunch. Hanging out, so it didn't go so well, but hey, it's got amazing brakes.
Yeah, rip your face off kind of brakes.
Yep, rip your face off, stomach comes out of your body kind of feeling.
So Matt and I just like Friday got out of a Trackhawk Jeep Grand Cherokee, 707 horsepower. It also has some giant Brembo brakes on it. He and I did some acceleration tests, when we drove it to Mexico.
Right.
And I did not warn him that I was also going to do some brake testing.
No, you didn't.
And he may or may not have had his phone out in his hands doing some acceleration testing. I'm surprised you were able to hold on to it through all of the...
Yeah, just barely.
But that was fun. I did not stand on them as hard as I could have, so you're welcome. But that does take me back to...
Well, that's impressive then, because I felt like you were standing on them pretty good.
No, there was still a little more travel to them, so there's some pretty good brakes. And when I drove the C8 Corvette, my wife was actually filming that, and I did not feel like I needed to explain that I was about to do a very quick acceleration run.
Right.
She was not prepared. Mentally, physically, anything. She did an excellent job filming that. So it's always fun when there's some unintended or unexpected driver inputs, so to speak.
I'd say the best way I can put a comparison to it is the older roller coasters at, say, Six Flags.
Yeah.
And you're coming to the end, and they have that long brake system on it, and you go from about 40 to 0 in about 7 feet.
Yeah.
That's about equal to what these Brembos do on this car.
Yeah, with all of those rides, I always know, all right, it's coming. I brace myself and I turn my head sideways because I don't want my eyes popping out of my head. So that's a apropos comparison there. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So, said Diablo. Tell us a little bit about it, how you got it, how you came about it, why the Diablo. Get some background.
The Diablo's always been one of the ultimate dream cars for me. I had multiple posters of it on my wall when I was a kid. It just screamed. It's got some sex appeal to it, but just the lines, the wedge shape, the V12 motor, the sound from it when you're watching the old, way before YouTube, the old original Top Gear episodes from 1995.
Yeah.
It was just, I fell in love with it. And should I be able to become a multimillionaire and being able to afford a Ferrari F50 or, McLaren F1?
Right.
That has been the dream car for me.
That's awesome.
So you said you picked it up in February of...
Got it in February 2017.
Okay.
I am the original owner of Adrenaline Rally. I started it in 2014. We hosted a few events in 2015. I needed to take 2016 off, and I thought, well, I'm getting to the point where I can afford a Lamborghini. I'm getting to the point where I can afford a Diablo.
Yeah.
It's within reach, so why not bring the rally business back and use the Diablo as the main face for the rally? Thought it could help me get a lot more exposure, get the word out better, maybe appeal to more Lamborghini owners to join the rally, which was the ultimate dream, to have multiple Lamborghinis on one of my rallies that I produced. So I purchased it partly because it's a dream car, and it's one of the ultimate dream cars for me, and partly for the rally business.
Yeah.
So
tax write-off, right?
What's that?
It's a tax write-off.
Sure,
right?
a big one. Yes. So February 2017, then we kicked off the poker run that I put on. That was in June of 2017. So I took it to as many events in the Dallas area as I could, just to get the name out there and just help promote it. The week before the rally's on a Saturday, so the Monday leading up to it, I sent it into Lamborghini Dallas for an oil change. Top off the fluids, detail it if you don't mind, give it a good car wash. I've got my rally coming up in 5 days, so just take care of the car for me. And the Thursday before the rally, this is crunch time. This is the hardest part of organizing a road rally, and the final moments and the most stressful times.
Tying up all those loose ends.
Tying all the loose ends, finalizing all the finite details. Lamborghini Dallas calls me, said, "You may want to come check this out."
Oh.
Not a good sign.
My heart just sunk for you.
We found a problem. Houston, we have a problem. We have a major problem. So I rushed to Dallas. I'm about 2 hours away from Dallas, so I rushed over there. It was late afternoon. They found metal shavings in the oil, heavy amount of metal shavings in the oil. And based on the color of the shavings, there was some copper and there was some steel in there. So they were suspecting camshafts were bad. They kept throwing out all these wild scenarios. Well, if it's this issue, that's going to put you down about $40,000. But if it's this, and if we have to replace the block, then you're looking at $50,000 to $60,000.
Oh my gosh!
And mind you, I've only owned this car for 4 months.
Right.
And
it's supposed to be a traveling billboard, basically.
It's supposed to be a traveling billboard, and based on my work schedule, I only had it in my possession for 6 weekends before this happened.
Oh, man.
That's all the time I've had to enjoy the ownership of it. So they kept throwing out all these wild scenarios of, well, if we have to rebuild the motor, then that's, minimum 3 years and $40,000. So there's another shop in the Dallas area called Norwood Auto Italia, and I've already met the shop manager of that shop before, already knew of them, knew that they specialize in old Lamborghinis and Ferraris, so I decided to take the sample to them to let them check it out. And on their first look over, they thought, well, it's probably not too bad. And I'm pressuring them, hey, I've got this rally coming up in 2 days that I'm putting on. This is the face of the rally. This car has to be on that rally. So they said, well, there's a chance it can happen, but we really want to see the car. We don't just want to see a sample of the oil. Get it to us by tomorrow afternoon, and we'll decide on it. So Friday afternoon, I get in town, loaded up on my trailer from Lamborghini Dallas, trailered over to Norwood, and within 10 seconds of cranking it up, the shop manager said, nope, this ain't going anywhere. There's a major issue in the engine.
Right.
We have no idea what it is, but I can already tell just from it idling for 10 seconds, you're not taking this on the rally. Are you sure? If you want to break it, but yeah.
Oh,
So here it is, literally probably 15 hours before my rally starts, and I'm without a car. And I'm frantically trying to figure out, how do I come back from this car? I'm unloading this and parking in a shop.
Right.
And in addition to the rally on Saturday, we were having kind of a meet and greet on Friday afternoon. A bunch of the teams can get together. We were going to go to a big go-kart track in Dallas and let everybody kind of mingle and build up some camaraderie and new friendships before the actual rally on Saturday. Well, that starts at 7, and here it is 5:30, and I'm without a car. And so I'm thinking, well, am I going to have to go to the airport, the Hertz at the airport, and walk through the whole lot and try to find a car that's suitable for the rally, that has the needs that I want? And a buddy of mine, one of my good friends that was running the rally, told me about Turo, which is an app where you can rent a car from an individual rather than Hertz or whatever. So I got on Turo, downloaded the app, and I'm scrolling through, and I'm seeing some pretty cool looking cars. And I come up to a Mercedes CLA 250. Okay. It's probably about a 2015 model. So they're kind of your entry-level four-door Mercedes, but they look really sleek. I love the front end of them. They got plenty of pep, plenty of horsepower with a sunroof, so I can have my cameraman working in the car with me. The way Turo works, in my frantic attempt to book a car as fast as I can, if you book a car by, let's say, 6:30 or 6:29, you can pick it up at 7. But if you finalize the booking at 6:31, it changes over and you can't pick it up until 7:30. So I had missed a window of however that worked out. So I'm frantically trying to get this car, and I'm, pickup time 6:30 or 7:30, and then drop off time on Sunday, knowing I've got to drive back on Sunday. I should have put 7:30.
So you paid for an extra day.
Well, so I would pay for 2 full days.
Yeah.
But in my frantic attempt to book this car and all the stress I'm dealing with, and people calling me, "Hey, where you at? We're showing up at the go-kart place, and you're not here. You're the face of the rally. You're not here." "Well, I got an issue. I'll be there soon." So I mistakenly booked it for a drop-off time at 4:30 on Sunday instead of 7:30, instead of a full 48 hours. So I go to this guy's house, and he's ready to hand the key over to me. And then he's like, "Well, what are you going to do with my car? You're renting it for 2 days." I can't blame the guy.
Right.
"Well, there's this charity kind of rally thing, car cruise. I'm not really sure all the details, but we might go to Oklahoma. I'm not really sure."
The least elevator pitch ever.
As little information I can give this guy, the better for me. And so he's kind of, thinking about it and not for sure. And I'm like, "It's for charity, I think." "Okay, all right, I trust you." So we had the interaction for about 15 minutes, and I took off and I left. And thankfully, I decided not to put any rally decals on the car, on the paint. None of the sponsored decals, our main logo. I just put a windshield banner across the top of the windshield, just so there's a little bit of associated with the rally. So Saturday morning, we start the rally, and I'm hearing, "Where's the Lambo? Where's that Diablo? I want to see the Diablo. I want to drive with the Diablo." Sorry, guys. About 12 hours ago, I found out it's not making the rally. It is what it is. I'm sorry, but hey, I'll be in a Mercedes, so I'm still keeping up with everybody. So we do the rally. Everything works just fine. The whole event went off perfectly. Everybody loved the entire event. Around probably the last third of the rally, it's about a 400-mile trip that we took from Dallas to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm starting to feel a shimmy in the steering wheel. And we get to our next stop, and I'm looking, and there's a bulge in the sidewall of one of the front tires. And I used to manage a tire shop, so textbook, that's a manufacturer defect. There's nothing I can do about it. I'll just finish up the route. I'll tell the guy tomorrow when I'm dropping the car off, "Hey, it's here. Sorry." Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It's a manufacturer defect. Well, I'm driving back on Saturday from Tulsa, and it's approaching 4:30, and I get a call from Turo the company asking me, "Are you dropping this car off by 4:30?" Well, I'm running behind running a little bit behind. It's probably going to be more like 6:30 or 7 before I get there, but that falls within a 2-day window from 7:30 p.m. So I should be good, right? No, it's going to be an hourly late fee for every hour that you're late. We're going to charge you a late fee. Okay, well, it is what it is. With the car, I think it included 150 miles a day.
Right.
And so I knew I was going to be paying extra for mileage. I didn't know how much, but it's a tax write-off.
Right.
It's a rally expense.
Right.
So whatever, I don't care. So the owner calls me a little bit later. Hey, where's my car? You were supposed to be here at 4:30. Well, man, I thought I booked a full 2-day schedule. I'm sorry, but I'm a little bit behind. I will be there by 7:30. I'm running a little bit behind. Well, I mean, my kid's birthday party starts in 30 minutes, so you need to get this car back. I don't want you to interrupt me in the middle of my kid's birthday. I'm sorry, man. I'll be there before 7:30. That's all I can tell you. Oh, and by the way, there's a shimmy in the steering wheel, and I found there's a bulge in the sidewall of one of the tires. I'll send you a picture of it. What? You damaged my car? No, I didn't damage it. It's just,
Right.
it happens, you know. It's a tire issue. So I get to his house. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. So about 30 minutes out from his house, I'm unloading my equipment out of the car, the spare stickers and other stuff, my luggage. And the videographer that I hired to take video of the whole rally, I didn't know this, but he rushed home Sunday morning, uploaded all the video to YouTube, mixed it all, did everything he needed, put it on YouTube. And the owner of this car, his friend, saw the video on YouTube and then tagged the guy, the owner, on the video. Hey, man, it was so cool seeing you run this rally yesterday. So the owner's like, what rally and what are you talking about? So the videographer calls me. Hey, man, is the owner of that car, is his name
Blah, blah, blah.
blah, blah, blah? Yeah. Oh, yeah, he already knows about the rally. What do you mean he knows about the rally already? This is supposed to be a secret. Well, I didn't know, but I went ahead and uploaded the video, and he told me the story, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a nightmare. So I get to the guy's house, did a little quick car wash, spray the bugs off or whatever, and he comes outside. He's mad. I'm interrupting his kid's birthday party. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry, man, but at least I got it back within 2 days. I don't know if that helps you at all. And he's pretending like he doesn't know anything, but he's questioning me about, well, what did you do in my car?
Right.
I'm like, well, we did a trip to like Central or something, Oklahoma. It was further than I anticipated. I didn't know the details. Really? Well, did you do this? Did you do that? And he started asking me a lot of questions. And then he came down to, well, how fast did you go? There's a tollway that leads up to Tulsa that's wide open, 3 or 4 lanes wide, and every car went full send. And I probably averaged 140 miles an hour in Mexico.
Right,
That's the
right,
tollway's
right.
in Mexico.
Right.
Yes, yeah, it's a detour.
Very crazy route.
It's weird, yeah. So I probably averaged 140 miles an hour for, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes.
Right.
And so now this guy's asking me, well, how'd you make this bulge in the sidewall, and how fast did you go? I think I hit about 90 a couple times, maybe. Like there were some Ferraris and stuff. So I mean, I did book it a few times. What? You went 90 in this car? Well, yeah, man. It's a Mercedes. And it's only like a 3-year-old car at this point, and he was flipping out and saying, "This is my Sunday car, and I only take the wife and kid out for a cruise like once a month, and I can't believe I've never sped in this car. I've never even hit 90 miles an hour. I can't believe you would do this in my car." And at one point I'm thinking,
putting it on Turo.
what are you doing putting on Turo and renting it out to Joe
Strangers.
Schmo?
Yeah.
And then I'm starting to think, wait a second, is there some kind of small print on the Turo, agreement? You shall not speed. Well, here's another fine that I'm going to have to pay or something. So he flipped out about that, and I kind of basically went down to like, okay, we're not renter and rentee anymore. Man to man, car guy to car guy. This car is meant for well over 90 miles an hour. I mean, this is an Autobahn car. It's from Germany. This is 90 miles an hour is nothing.
Yeah, that's...
I still can't believe you went 90. This is absolutely absurd. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. At least I didn't go 150. Okay, I guess. So then he asked me about all the stickers and everything, and I finally came clean. Okay, dude, it was a rally. I didn't know every detail, but I mean, this is what happened. And then he started asking about the tire, and well, you must have hit a speed bump. No, sir, no speed bumps, no dips, no anything, no curb rash. I can give you the route car to show you the entire route. You can drive it yourself. Yeah. I did nothing to this car to cause this bulge in the sidewall. And well, I'm going to take it to Mercedes tomorrow, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. I'm like, okay, I'm actually off tomorrow, so if you want, I'll even go up there with you and make sure they confirm this is a manufacturer defect and it's effortless. They'll warranty the tire. Right. You'll get a new tire. You might get 2 new tires if you're lucky. It's easy. So we had a gentleman's handshake on, well, either you meet me up there tomorrow or I'll call you and let you know what happens, and we'll take care of it on the side outside of Turo. Okay. 3 days later, I get a notice from Turo that I got charged $500 for damaging this guy's car. And so I contacted the guy, and he will not answer texts, phone calls, nothing. Mm-hmm. I tried reaching out to Turo. Listen, I explained it to Turo. They didn't take my side at all. Yeah. So the rental was $120 a day for this Mercedes for 2 days. Plus, I knew I was going to pay for some mileage, and that should have been it. So probably after sales tax and everything, about $300 out the door for 2 days, plus a little extra for mileage. Right. All in all, this one rental for not even 2 days came out to be $1,351.
Oh my gosh.
So this is a good time to say this episode is not sponsored by Turo.
Wow.
I don't like Turo.
Yeah. Oh,
that's incredible.
It really does beg the question, what on earth was that dude even doing listing his car on Turo? Because Matt and I have had an idea for a video trip that we won't share too many details of, and we've been scouring Turo.
Oh yeah.
For gosh, there it is.
$1,351.98.
Yeah.
Look at all the fees that's on there.
Oh my goodness. Trip price was $240. So yeah, and damage cost $500. Late fee $150.
I was 2.5 hours late, and they charged me $150,
which was more than a whole.
Which is more than a whole day. And I begged them and pleaded, "Hey, I messed up. Most rental cars are for 2 full days anyways. So can you just bump me for 2 hours? I messed up. I was I was frantic when booking it, and they. Nothing.
I wonder how much of that actually makes it to him, and how much stays with Turo.
He did say originally how much he gets, because I'm like, hey, just out of curiosity, how much are these Turos and the Ubers and
when
the
you're
Lyfts?
Picking it up, right?
Yeah. And I want to say he got about 95 or 100 off of the 120.
Okay.
And
that's not bad.
When he filed the claim for the tire itself was like 400, but then Turo added their own.
Oh, of course they did.
Yeah.
Upkick from that, so that $500 for a tire.
Excess distance reimbursement, $366. Do you know for sure how
that's
far?
Like $1 a mile? No, it's more than $1 a mile, because I think if I remember right, it included 200 or 250 miles automatically.
Wow!
And full round trip was maybe 500 miles, maybe.
So in the grand scheme of things, he really made out on this because he got a new tire out of it. It shouldn't have been anything off it.
Right.
His nose, just the time and energy out of it all. Plus he got all these extra fees and a minor annoyance with the kid's birthday party. But again, it leads me to ask the question, what on earth are you listing it on Turo for in a window that you don't want it returned if you're going to be worried about people doing something stupid in it?
I mean, that's rental cars are for that purpose.
And it's a Mercedes. So,
right.
And I'm on a rally. Oh, he didn't know that.
Well, it's for charity.
It was a charity thing.
Exactly. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Absolutely incredible.
So, not a fan of Turo?
Nope. No sponsorship, no promotion.
Wow.
They missed out on that one because
they could have sponsored my rally if they played their cards right.
They sure could have.
So while we're talking about the rally, how did that come to be? What led to as the original owner? How did you get there?
So growing up, late 90s, early 2000s, I was watching videos of the Gumball 3000 as it toured literally around the world. always dreamed of, man, one day I'm going to have a Lamborghini and I'm going to run the Gumball 3000. I'm going to travel the world and do this and do that. And then I got tuned into other rallies through the early 2000s. You had the Players Run. There's the Bull Run Rally. And all these rallies were just equal level of party, drive fast, awesome cars, everything else that goes with that. And 2012, I bought my first sports car. I bought a Dodge Viper and found out about the Gold Rush Rally. So I registered for that. And that year, they ran LA to Miami, but they didn't run the full distance. I know, that's grueling. LA to Miami in like 7 days.
Oh, my.
But what they did, this was genius on their part. We did LA to Phoenix for a night and then Phoenix to Vegas. We stayed in Vegas for 2 nights, and while we're there partying and enjoying the nightlife, they transported the cars to Atlanta, and then after 2 days of partying and staying up all night and no sleep, we flew to Atlanta, got back in the cars, and then made our way down to Miami.
Okay. So almost transcontinental.
Almost, yep. Cheating just a little, just a smidge.
Well,
That's cool.
On that topic, I don't know, and I'm creating a faux pas here, asking a question I don't know all the details to myself, but I saw many a story pop up over the last year about the COVID rally. Did you hear any about COVID rallies? People were going from New York to LA.
Oh, yes.
Taking advantage of the global lockdown.
The lack of traffic
Right.
and the lack of police presence.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there were many transcontinental records broken last year. A lot of attempts and a lot of record breaking.
Yeah.
So it would have been a good year last year.
Yes, sir.
With the best one coming in like sub 26 or 27 hours. I mean, like,
If I remember right, it was like 27 hours and 40-something minutes. And the average time for that, or the average speed, I'm sorry, is something like 115, 117 miles an hour, averaging for almost 3,000 miles across the entire country.
that's nuts.
It's insane.
I want to know what the fuel bill would be for that. What is that doing to the tires? What is... Like, there's so much that goes to pushing a car that hard for that long.
For that long.
Well, it's not just pushing the card, but there's a lot of planning involved. So this individual that broke the record last year and a couple individuals that broke the record previously, they had a fleet of lookout drivers across the entire stretch of the route in every state. And the role of this guy is to be about 10 miles ahead of the individual making the run. And their job is to attract any police that they can if there's any police on the roads. And that guy will take the fall and get a ticket. But that police is already pulled over when the main individual comes zipping by at 140 or 170 miles an hour. Oh. And so this individual had who knows how many people run just ahead of him just to make sure the coast is clear for over 3,000 miles.
Can you imagine how many buddies that you have to be in good with? Because you're going to owe them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. How many beers do you owe a guy
No kidding.
making a run for you, to take the fall, to be the fall guy for you?
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess you could play it up as, hey, man, you're going to be part of something epic. And sure, it won't be the glamorous side of things, but it wouldn't happen without you. That's the salesman in me coming out. I'm like, all right, how can I spin this to somebody else? Wow.
Golly. I cannot imagine. That's incredible.
It's insane. And I was fortunate enough to speak to that individual and a couple other guys that are previous record holders last year. I was able to work the Gold Rush Rally last year, and a few of the individuals were on the rally. So I got to kind of hang with them and learn the ropes. Shortly after I bought my Viper, Richard Rawlings from Gas Monkey Garage had set a record, I think in 2007, 31 hours and 59 minutes. And I thought, I'm in a Viper. I could probably beat that. So I did actually start planning, trying to make an attempt.
Okay.
It might have been a year or two later, but I was trying to make some plans, and I'm just stupid enough to try this right now before I get married and get settled down. I'm just dumb enough, and I've got just the right kind of car to do this. And then next thing I know, the record's broken, and then the new record is 28 hours and 50 minutes. And I did the math and did the figuring. I was like, nope. I just saved myself a lot of time and effort and hassle and probably a lot of speeding tickets.
Oh, man.
not going to make that attempt now.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so cool.
All right.
So we kind of segued away.
Yeah.
But the cause of me starting Adrenaline Rally was growing up loving the Gold Rush Rally, Gumball 3000, all these record attempts, transcontinental record attempts. And after doing Gold Rush Rally, I got the rally fever. I did a rally. I won the top prize on the rally. That could be a story for later. And so I really got heavy in the rally activity, and I was doing 3 or 4 rallies a year. But I'm finding that I have to drive all the way to Miami to do a 2-day rally based in Florida, or I have to drive to Chicago to do a 1 or 2 day rally in Chicago, or I have to drive to LA to do a rally. And I'm thinking, why isn't there anything like this in Texas? And started doing the research, and there really wasn't much in Texas at the time, especially in the Dallas area. And the Dallas area has a huge exotic car community.
Oh, man.
It's massive. And why not? I've always been an entrepreneur. I've owned a few businesses up to that point, and I'm getting bored. I haven't had a business that I've owned for a few years now, so I'm thinking, why not start a rally? How hard can it be?
Famous
Last words for everybody. How hard can it be? I know routes. I know roads. I've got cool cars, and I know people with cool cars. So that's basically the start of it, and that's how I started Adrenaline Rally.
Wow.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And then I started the rally, and I learned what it takes to run a business like that. And it's very stressful. And it wouldn't be near as stressful, but my job is based in Alaska, and I work 3 weeks on and 3 weeks off, or get 3 weeks off throughout the whole year. So I thought, well, I'm off for half the year. I got plenty of time to organize and plan and drive routes and, sell sponsorships. There wasn't enough time in the day. And after putting on 3 events over the course of 3 years, I just realized that I can't do both.
Yeah.
And eventually that's where Mikey came in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mikey.
And he decided to buy the rally. This is to you, Mikey. On the worst year ever. 2020 is your year, buddy.
Yes.
Man.
Snake bit. On that note, what other cars are in your stable?
So I've been fortunate and blessed to own 5 Vipers so far. That's by far my favorite model of everything. I could own plenty of Lamborghinis or Ferraris, but the Viper is it for me. So currently I have a 96 Viper GTS and a 1992 Viper, which is the first year model. And I was fortunate enough to pick up the 35th Viper built.
Wow.
So it's one of the earliest ones available to the public. I got extremely lucky on that car. It came from California, and after a little bit of wheeling and dealing, it's in my stable, and it's not leaving anytime soon.
Hurricane wheels, side pipes, all that good
Those
stuff.
little 3-spoke wheels and the side pipes that burn your legs when you get out.
Are all the stories true?
All the stories are true, and it's a death trap. I mean, it's a death machine. If you don't treat it right and you floor it, there's a lot of people that have been killed in Vipers. Yeah, they call it the Widowmaker, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
So do you have the soft top and the janky windows?
Oh man, the soft top was an afterthought. I found out.
Yes.
And it is by far the worst piece of engineering. Like, who thought of this?
So all those videos like Three's Company, them putting up a tent or something crazy. I'm thinking
that's it. Yeah. That's exactly it. I didn't know about this when I bought the car, and I'm trailing it back, and I'm like, well, let me just try putting the top on. This is first hour of having it, and I hadn't watched any YouTube videos how to put a top on a Viper RT10, and I'm trying this myself, and it's
thinking
just a
they
disaster.
sold it to the public, so surely.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, yeah, it's easy, right? Yeah. No, it's a 2-person job, and I'm sure I looked like a complete idiot trying to put this thing on in a Walmart parking lot in California. But other than that, it's an amazing car. I hopefully will never go without owning a Viper again. When I purchased my Lamborghini, I had 2 Vipers at the time. I had an RT10 from 2000 and then a 2003 SRT10. Okay. I used both of those as trade-in towards a Lamborghini. And so that was February 2017. Then in June, my car breaks down. And after a few months, they figure out, well, this is going to be a motor tear down, and we're going to have to really dig into it. So I knew I was going to be out of a Lamborghini for at least a year or two. I just gave up 2 Vipers for a Lambo, and then it breaks down. and I'm sitting here without a car. I went from 2 Vipers to no car at all.
Right.
Oh,
And I'm just fiending for another car. I have to have something to drive. So I picked up a 96 Viper. It ended up having some issues, so I was able to sell it to a good buddy of mine who handled it very well and took good care of it. And then I picked up the current 96 Viper. So, like I said, hopefully it will never go without owning a Viper
Right.
again.
Man. Yeah, so we're all about the same age.
Yeah.
You are describing like all the cars that were on mine and my brother's wall growing up, and it's essentially that's what it is for you. You're going after those dream cars.
I have the dreams, and fortunately, have the salary to help out.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed. I truly am to be able to own and enjoy the cars that I've owned so far.
that's awesome.
All right, well, we're going to pivot just a little right now. So we will ask you more about that story in a little bit, but that'll be for our Patreon subscribers.
Yes.
You can listen behind the paywall. So if you are interested in hearing more stories from Brad, go to patreon.com/GT Garage Talk. Sign up for, goodness, it's been so long since I've looked at the tiers. Sign up for the second tier, and everything above that you'll get just what we call the aftermarket. We built on a little extra conversation to each week's episode, and you'll get to hear more from Brad. But as we pivot now, we're going to go into a segment that Matt cleverly calls
Random misfire. So this
Okay.
is a fun little either or, yes or no kind of series of questions. And I realize I'm talking to a supercar guy and a Viper guy with
and Diablo parked outside.
12 cylinders outside and a couple of V10s at home.
V10s, yep.
Are you going to say it?
There's 8 questions.
Because
For a V8, a
That's
pitiful little V8. Can a puny little V8? Like, can we do 10 questions here?
Okay, all right. We'll do 10
I'm
questions.
kind of a Viper guy, so it'd be
Yes.
cool to do 10
Yeah,
questions.
all right.
we'll
Not
do
to put
10.
you on the spot, but
No, that's fine.
we've
That's
got more
perfect.
than enough to choose from.
Yeah,
so.
so we'll do 10 questions just for you.
cool. I appreciate that.
All right. So I'm gonna start us.
Oh, you're going to start.
I'm gonna start.
Okay.
I'm starting.
Okay. Go for it.
This is. I think I know the answer to this one already, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Do you like vehicles with more technology or less technology?
Less.
Less.
I explained to you guys before the show, I tend to buy the first year model of a specific
Right.
car. So I've
Yeah.
got the first year model Viper. I've got the first model Viper GTS. I've got the first full year model for the Diablo. I like them as raw as they can get.
Yes.
All these stability control and traction control and, ESC and whatever.
Yeah.
No, that's not for me.
I love it.
When you pop the, what do you call it in the Lamborghini? It's not the hood. The
deck lid.
The deck lid.
Oh, and then airbags.
Yeah.
Like who needs airbags in a car? All my car, I have one airbag in my Viper GTS, and that's it.
Well, Matt was talking about looking under the hood at that V12 and just all the, the guts of it.
Yeah.
And just how manual it still was.
Incredibly mechanical and straightforward and simple.
The linkages.
And yet
yeah.
spectacular in its composition. It's a work of art. It genuinely is a work of art.
Awesome. Glad to hear that.
All right. So
You claim
there is a wrong answer to this. Do you name your cars?
I tried,
Yeah.
and didn't really go very far. So no.
when you have names
No,
like Viper
I
and
gave up.
Diablo.
I know they
what's-
kind of come
Yeah.
packed,
Why try to call
pre-baked
it
in.
Charlene or something
Right,
like that? It's,
right.
it's the Viper.
Yeah.
I'll give you a
Agreed.
pass on that one. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that one's definitely forgivable.
All right. Manual or automatic?
Manual all day long.
Okay. All right.
So to that end, because Matt famously has a blog post up on our website that the next car he's buying.
If I could buy one.
What was the title of that one, Matt? I'm going to make you say it.
The reason I'm buying an
No,
automatic.
it wasn't the reason. It was I am
I
buying
am buying an automatic
sports car.
And it was why? Well, it was the particular automatic. It's the dual clutch automatic in the Mustang GT 500.
Okay.
It's spectacular. It's incredibly intuitive.
I'll let it slide.
It's
That's cool.
responsive. It's powerful. It's amazing. And that's the only reason I would even consider. And because it's the only transmission that comes in that car. But
Yeah, and unfortunately, if you want the most modern performance,
Right.
that's the only way to go now.
Unfortunately.
And
sure.
it's killing the thrill of it a little bit. The technology is amazing. These
Yep.
dual clutch transmissions, the technology is amazing, but it kills the thrill of having that full control of a car.
Having to learn the gate of Lamborghini Diablo.
How is it driving that? Since
Oh, man.
Since first gear is not in the normal spot.
So, yes, reverse is where first should be, first is where second should be, and so on and so forth. And then you've got that incredibly tight gate. It took a second. I did not put it in reverse, so there is that.
I
Neither
did
of
the
us
very
found
first time driving it.
Oof.
First 3 miles, I think, putting on the car, I was approaching a speed bump, and I shifted into first gear like normal,
Right.
and almost backed into the truck right behind me. And thankfully, he honked at me, or else I would have made an impact.
Oof.
All right. I guess it's my turn. We'll shift gears a little bit. Favorite car movie?
Oh man, that would be a tie between Gone in 60 Seconds.
Which one?
Oh, the Nicolas Cage one.
Okay,
Is there any
okay.
other one?
There's the original.
Yes.
Oh, from like the
Like,
60s or
yeah,
70s?
right,
Okay, I'll have to say the Nicolas Cage one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
A tie between that, because it has a Lamborghini in it, and there's a Jaguar XJ220, all the cool cars from the 90s
yeah.
are in that movie. And I would say the Gumball Rally movie.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, Cannonball Run. The
Cannonball
Cannonball Run
Run.
movie
Yeah.
with Burt Reynolds.
I was
Yes.
That's just a classic.
Oh.
I was almost surprised that wasn't the first thing out of your mouth.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay.
All right. Would you rather build it or buy it?
Well, another story for another day, maybe.
Okay.
For the Patreon, I built a car called an Exomotive Exoset, and that's partially been a nightmare. So I think I'm just going to buy one next time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Buy.
right.
Well, just hearing all the fun that you've had with the Lambo, I could see
Yeah.
where, sometimes you just want to buy it all prepackaged and have somewhere that knows, yes, this, and this. So,
Well, if I get a chance to tell the story about how a 3-inch PVC pipe saved my life with the Exoset on the Patreon channel,
yeah.
it's a good story to listen to.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll make sure that one's on
Okay.
Patreon.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
nice little plug right there. All right, Matt.
I just did build or buy.
Oh, yeah.
It's your-
Yeah, it's your turn,
me.
man.
Okay, so we... so I'm throwing off my game. Normally I have a little checkbox. So we've talked about a lot of sports cars, but in the current arena, it seems like the war is crazy off-road super truck. And the two factory supreme vehicles right now, Ford Raptor and TRX. Which one has your vote?
I would say TRX.
Yeah,
I'm a
that's-
Dodge guy through and through. I've owned plenty of Dodges. Definitely TRX.
Well, there's one for sale just a couple blocks over from
Oh,
here.
really?
Yeah.
Even trade, maybe? Even trade? I know they're going
Please
for
don't.
pretty good
Please
money.
don't. Please don't.
Oh.
Keep the Lambo. I said nothing. Forget.
All right. This one, you have to pick one or the other.
Oh.
And it might hurt your feelings a little bit.
Ooh, okay.
So I'll scoot away just to.
I'm ready.
If
I
you
think.
had to choose one over the other, would you get a vehicle with a CVT or an EV?
I don't even know what CVT stands for.
It's the constant velocity transmission, the one that doesn't shift.
It's
really.
an auto then?
It's an auto, but it's
Yeah.
It's like the worst thing
Yeah.
of an automatic.
yeah,
Or an EV?
yeah.
No.
And I have to choose one?
You have to choose one.
This is a lose-lose.
It is, yeah. I'll go with EV.
Okay,
that lightning, maybe?
All right.
I do dig the Lightning.
Yeah.
It is pretty sweet.
See?
Or
See?
what's the Tesla Plaid model?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There are some bonkers EVs out there.
Yes, there are.
It's starting to get a little more
It
interesting.
is actually growing on me. Some of the hypercar manufacturers coming out with EV cars, or mostly electric motor with a small little gas engine.
Yeah.
It's growing on me. And unfortunately, it's the way of the future.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
That's what they tell us anyway. But that's a story for another day. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this makes 8.
Uh-huh.
Favorite driving song
Ooh, one song or just an entire genre?
or genre? I always put that caveat on there.
Okay. For a long time, I was all about the techno and the dance music, just the fast-paced beat, and I'm going 150 kilometers an hour. I think, was that 65 miles
Sure,
an hour?
right,
yeah.
The techno was the way to go.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I generally like the hard rock and
Okay.
a little bit of metal.
Okay. Matt, I believe this is your last one.
Sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Coke.
Oh,
I don't do tea at all.
right
I
then.
can't. I've tried every kind of tea out there. Not for me.
all right.
Cocoa
Fair
water.
enough.
All right, rounding us out with a cool even 10. You spent a lot of time on the road,
I do.
put a
I
lot of
have.
miles. Favorite road trip snack?
Or a snack's allowed in the Viper and the Diablo.
I've had a few friends spill drinks in my car, so I'm allowed to have a drink.
Yes.
Nobody else.
Yes.
I'd say like a Route 44 Coke
Yeah.
and
Nice.
maybe some beef jerky probably. Yeah.
Popular answer. Popular answer. All right, so we have 2 additional questions for
Okay.
Brad. Plus,
Does this turn into the V12 set of questions?
Yeah,
or-
basically.
I think
it's,
we went through 10 maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
so we've got a couple more questions. Plus, we had to hear that story about how 3-inch PVC pipe saved his life. But all that will be on the Patreon aftermarket segment that we will record. So again, patreon.com/GT Garage Talk. You can find out all about getting that aftermarket content from us that way. Brad, before we sign off, any parting words of wisdom to our Gearhead listeners?
When you go to buy a car, buy it smart.
Yeah.
Don't just pick up the cheapest car on Craigslist or eBay. I'm talking from personal experience. Sometimes they can be nightmares.
okay.
Do your research, get a PPI done before buying the car. That's the best advice I can give.
All right.
Awesome.
On the fly with the pressure on me right now.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. With that, that is the end of this episode. You can find out more about us by heading over to gtgaragetalk.com. You can see what we're driving, what we have driven. Go subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/gtgaragetalk. And until next time, bye.